In this tutorial, I will be showing you how to session your horse and elaborate on the various options available for doing so. First, you'll want to visit your horse. If you are unsure of how to do this, I recommend viewing one of our earlier tutorial videos covering the subject. Before you begin handling your horse, it is important to familiarize yourself with these three things: your remaining days, your available sessions, and the next day button. Each game month, or one real day, consists of 30 game days where you can session your horse or horses. Each game day you have a set amount of sessions you may utilize to work with your horses. When you are done working your horses for the game day, clicking the next day button will bring you to the next game day, refresh your horse's energy, and refill your available sessions. If you scroll down your horse's page, you'll notice that there are several boxes listing various tasks you can perform with your horse, as well as 2 boxes displaying your horse's status. This first box, Sessioning at a Glance, is the first one you'll want to familiarize yourself with. Here you can see useful information about your horse that will help you get the most out of your sessions with him. Days session this month tells you how many days, out of a maximum of 30 days per game month, your horse has been sessioned. This horse has not been sessioned yet today, and shows a 0 for days sessioned. It is good to note that a horse needs to be sessioned a minimum of 20 days each game month to not lose fitness. If your horse is sessioned less than 20 days in a game month, their fitness loss will be based upon how many days you did manage to work them. For example, a horse who is sessioned for 19 days will barely lose any fitness at all, whereas a horse who is sessioned for only 5 days will lose much more. Time worked today shows you how much time you have spent handling your horse on the current game day. Note that each time you work with your horse, you will use up 1 session, and each session equates to 10 minutes of handling. Needs to rest shows you whether or not your horse has been worked this game day. This long bar represents your horse's energy and is possibly the most important piece of information to monitor while working your horse. Each individual horse has a limited amount of energy available to him each game day, determined by a combination of its genetics and current fitness. Each activity will use varying amounts of energy based on the effort the horse must make. For example, practicing in-hand will use far less energy than jumping obstacles. This means that some horses will be able to do more sessions in a single day, or be able to handle the more strenuous activities that are too intensive for horses with less energy. It also means that your horse will likely not be able to do very strenuous activities right off the bat, but it will be able to do more as it gets more fit. If your horse expends more than his maximum amount of energy, he will become exhausted. When a horse becomes exhausted, their health will drop, and their maximum available energy will be decreased until they fully recover. If you overexert your horse again at this stage, their health will plummet, and it will take a very long time for them to fully recover. Below this box is the horse's health panel. This displays your horse's current health, hoof overgrowth, injuries and illnesses if they have any, as well as a shoe icon if your horse is shod. For sessioning, you'll want to be aware of this panel, so you know your horse's health status. The box directly to the right of the sessioning information is the exercise panel. These tasks are the most effective way to raise your horse's fitness levels, and each task will raise different ratings. Note that these exercises are very intensive, so you should be certain that your horse has matured enough physically to handle the stress. Also note that fitness ratings are based upon each individual horse's genetic potential. Not every horse will be extraordinary. The box to the right of the exercise panel has various grooming options for you to utilize. These options will assist you in raising your horse's coat condition. Note that while these tasks can be performed many times in the same game day, as they require no energy, it is not recommended. A horse that is brushed 10 times a day will not show improvement in its coat any faster than a horse brushed only once a day. Remember that sessions are 10 minutes long. That is a lot of brushing. It is best to be thorough with your grooming routine to get the best results and care for all parts of the horse. And while it may be tempting to wash your horse in soapy suds daily, be careful. Excessive bathing can lead to dry, irritated skin, as it strips the natural oils from the horse's coat and can have a detrimental effect on coat condition. The large box here displays all the training tasks available for your horse. Don't feel overwhelmed. It may look like a lot to take in, but once you understand the pieces, everything will fall into place. Here, in the top left, are various groundwork exercises. These are the very basics for each horse, as they teach the horse how to be handled on the ground and what is expected from it. It is highly recommended that these tasks are introduced and taught before all of the others, as a good relationship on the ground translates into a good relationship in the saddle. These exercises are not particularly strenuous, and they can be taught to young, undeveloped horses. To the right of the groundwork options, you will see basic undersaddle concepts. These are the basics for any horse being started under saddle and are important for the understanding of the more complex discipline options. These tasks do involve riding the horse, so you should be sure that your horse is physically mature enough to handle the strain of carrying a rider before you begin. Once your horse has mastered the basics, a whole new world opens up for him. Whether you would like to train a dressage champion or a rodeo star, everything you need is right here. When you decide upon a discipline, don't hesitate to do some research into what is required of your horse for that discipline, as it will help you select the tasks most appropriate for your horse. Please also note that every task here, including in-hand and halter, require that your horse be physically mature enough to carry a rider. Another important topic to discuss is prerequisites in training. Certain tasks, all the way from groundwork and into discipline training, are more complex than others and require that a horse have at least a basic understanding of a simpler but related task. For example, before you can begin to teach your horse to lead, he must have been introduced to the halter, or he will have no way to grasp the concept of being led around by a lead attached to a halter. It will be too big of a shock, and he will either learn nothing or possibly even be set back in his training. Most importantly, remember that being good at something takes time and practice. You may not see immediate results when working with your horse, but if you're persistent and patient, your horse will show progress.